Lucifer had been driven mad, crazy, and had taken part in some very bad things here within this earth realm, for which he felt very bad for doing, and had left into the realm of the Fae, the other dimensions inhabited by spirit alone, wherein he took up the form of a satyr. The Illuminati seem to have been aware of this, or put out this story to begin with to explain Lucifer's appearance. The reason for the Draco using this particular appearance for the devil, Satan, Lucifer, here goes back to the wars that destroyed entire worlds and other neighboring universes, that caused wave after wave of refugees to come into our universe and solar system. These were called the Lyran Wars, which in effect were the beginnings of the wars here in our own solar system that led to the damage and destruction of planetary bodies. A contactee by the name of Onyx Knight described an extraterrestrial species by the name of the Medokim, and this is what he had to say of them. And I quote, "The Medokim are the original Lyrans who were colonized on Sirius B. They have since left to escape the very controlling culture of Sirius B and now currently reside in Van Manen star system. Medokim body type is a semi-humanoid with tomato red skin, orange eyes. Legs have a Z-type double joint at the knees. They have pointy ears and broad noses. The phenotype is reminiscent of the classical demon portrayed in the Bible. But no, they are not demons. No fur or hooves or tail, and certainly not a malevolent species." Onyx Knight also recounted the moment of his informing the Medokim of the appearance of Satan here on this planet. They were upset, to say the least, as these original Lyrans are one of the most benevolent extraterrestrial species out there and are one of the humanity's predecessors. Very insulting to them to be drawn into an egregore that caused fear and intimidation for humanity. Now that we have cleared up the reason for Lucifer's appearance, let's go back to how all the contactees' accounts meet up and coalesce into what really happened to Lucifer. His being reported to have driven mad, crazy, and having left or removed himself from his post as a protector of children here seems to me to be a certain perspective of what actually happened to him as he was missing. And it did drive him mad, crazy, being trapped by the Draco, especially given his psychic connection to humanity as one of our creator beings. Lucifer was most likely acutely aware of how his energy was being inverted to hurt, torture, and sacrifice the very children he was here to protect. Even if it was not the real him behind the name the coven and program members invoked in the rituals, it still was felt each and every time they used his or the egregore's name, as well as each time the thought of the artificial intelligent Lucifer / Satan scared an adult human or child, he felt it. Energetic cords bound his energy to the actions the covens and program members did in his name. Just think about how many times you thought of someone that was thinking of you at that exact same time. Then multiply it by a creator being's abilities. It is not known exactly the details of how Lucifer was imprisoned. Creational beings are powerful and strong, who care so deeply, so much for the work that they do for the planet and their charges upon it. The Draco's repeated use of making our strengths our weakness suggests the way in which Lucifer was trapped with the trickery, very possibly to do with the children of humanity. This is a common sense intuition, also based on the number of times sympathy for a child has been utilized in astral attacks by Draco and other service to self extraterrestrial species in dreams to draw one into a trap, as I have personally experienced as well as had reported to me by others as happening to them. The good news is that Lucifer was freed in November of 2015. He has gone back to source to heal, and I truly hope he is doing well in his healing. He may very well return to Earth to help humanity's children in the future, if this is his own soul's choice. But he would not come back anywhere near us currently, not until we fully are out of the artificial intelligence matrix. Anyone who thinks that they are speaking to, receiving teachings from Lucifer in here now is not interacting with the real Lucifer. I can guarantee it, that it is an artificial intelligent construct in the program. So now that the real Lucifer has been untangled from the fictional Satan character, we can focus more on the Saturn moon matrix. The layer of the matrix, as said above, that had to do with the control layers bound to us physically in our bodies, as well as our soul energies via our energy centers, i.e. the chakras, the energy wheels, the vortices. By this thought form, egregore called Satan, that the Draco trained the program members to direct our Lush energies to. It also has to do with a personal matrix around each and every one of us in the form of artificial intelligent shadow beings that have added layers of fear and intimidation to our being able to face and clear any issues we have in our emotional, mental, and physical bodies. These same additional layers have been present in both our environment and culturally via the dogma, the Satan archetype represented throughout our last 13,000 year history. Boy, that's a long time. I could barely even say it. Yes, much further back than the writing of the Bible. I am aware of accounts by contacts that place the ideologies of Satan going back at least that far, as well as the original benevolent teachers of humanity being present here before and after the Satan egregore. The fact that many of the program members are discovering now that Satan is not real, as reported by Shane, is a step in the right direction. But as he also said, we are not out of the woods yet. The solution is empowerment of humanity. The solution to empowerment is to unveil the hows and whys we gave over the control of our energy centers to these service to self extraterrestrial species. We need and deserve information so a new choice can be made to take back our energy. Each and every person in my feeling has undergone just as much programming as the actual program members. This is not about what happened to me is worse, as that never really applies. If a particular trauma was your worst, the first time something bad happened to you, for instance, it does just as much damage to your energy centers as someone whose worst is much different and long-term. Much healing would have been available to each of us if we had been going back to our respective soul sources between lives, where we would have had a review and rebalancing healing of all we had been throughout that lifetime with the loving support of our source Godhead, and new choices made by our own souls about where and what to do next. Certainly, we would not have been choosing to just keep returning to a matrix where the balancing of our energies, both personally and environmentally, was so stacked against us. What has been denied to us in this matrix? It is unknown exactly which layer of the matrix was responsible for this. The Draco layer, the Saturn moon layer, or the artificial intelligence layer. But nonetheless, a Draco stood between us and our source with what's being called the fault light traps, or soul traps with the small black cube tags that kept us being recycled back into the matrix. These soul traps have also been destroyed throughout the solar system on April 14th of 2015. This action was retroactive in its effects, as in all souls are free to go to their source, no matter the date they died, being before the date of the soul trap's destruction. The mechanics of how the Saturn Moon matrix layer was established. Let's discuss that. The theory of the Saturn Moon matrix has been around for some time in the truth community. People who know their astrological natal charts are familiar with the Saturn return transit, which is known to be a very difficult aspect to go through. To begin the unspell, the spell of reversal of the hypnotic state behind the extraterrestrial species setting up the Saturn Moon matrix, we need to understand some basics. So hit that subscribe button, become a loyal celestial intelligencer in the Gnosis Zone as we continue this journey of peeling back these AI layers and all claim the source of our benevolent origins and thrive in this galactic golden age of the new earth.
Namaste, namaskaram.